For years, I told myself I would start when I felt ready. Ready to launch the business. Ready to write the book. Ready to finally get in shape. Well, guess what? I'm still waiting. And if you're watching this, I have a feeling you might be waiting for something too. That perfect moment, that spark of motivation, that divine sign from the universe that says, okay, now you're good to go. I spent the better part of a decade trapped in that waiting room, and I want to share how I finally broke out, because it cost me more time than any failure ever could have. I remember this one moment so clearly. It was about 5 years ago. I had this idea for a creative project I was incredibly passionate about. I bought the domain name. I sketched out the logo. I even drafted a whole business plan. I was on fire. And then, nothing. The excitement wore off, and the familiar voice of self-doubt crept in. You're not experienced enough, it whispered. What if people think it's a stupid idea? What if you fail spectacularly? The classic one was, just do a little more research. Learn one more skill. Then you'll be ready. So I told myself I'd start next month. Next month turned into next year. And before I knew it, 2 years had passed. The domain name expired. The notebook full of ideas gathered dust on a shelf. And I was exactly where I had started, only now with a side of regret. The world didn't stop. Time didn't wait for me to feel ready. It just kept moving, quietly slipping through my fingers while I was busy making excuses. I wasn't just procrastinating. I was actively choosing to stay stuck, paralyzed by the fear of an imagined failure that hadn't even happened. The turning point wasn't some grand cinematic moment. It was small, uncomfortable, and honestly, a little pathetic. I was scrolling online and saw someone else launch an idea that was eerily similar to the one I'd been sitting on for years. And they were getting praise for it. My first reaction was a bitter cocktail of jealousy and frustration. But then something else kicked in. It wasn't inspiration. It was a profound sense of exhaustion. I was tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of the what-ifs. Tired of being my own biggest obstacle. That night, I did something I had been putting off for months. I opened my laptop and wrote one single paragraph for a new project idea. It was terrible. The sentences were clunky, the idea felt half-baked, and every fiber of my being wanted to delete it and go watch TV. But I didn't. I saved the document, closed the laptop, and went to bed. The next morning, I didn't wake up a new person. The fear was still there. The doubt was still there. But I opened that document again and wrote another paragraph. It was slightly less terrible. That's when it hit me. Readiness isn't something you wait for, like a bus. It's something you build, brick by painful brick, through action. Taking that one tiny, imperfect step didn't magically make me feel ready. But it proved to me that I could act even when I felt terrified. The feeling of taking that messy, awkward action was 1,000 times better than the suffocating weight of doing nothing. The imagined failure in my head was this huge, catastrophic monster. The reality of writing a bad paragraph was just a bad paragraph. It wasn't the end of the world. It was just a starting point. This experience completely rewired how I approach everything in life. I realized that confidence isn't the fuel you need to start the car. It's a byproduct you get from driving it. You don't feel confident and then act. You act, and then slowly, you start to feel confident. You learn by doing, you improve by failing, and you become ready by starting before you think you are. The myth of the perfect moment is the most dangerous form of procrastination because it feels productive. It feels like you're being responsible by preparing. But true preparation is messy action. It's the rough draft, the clumsy first attempt, the workout where you can only do 5 minutes. That's where the real growth happens. We spend so much time building a perfect ship in a bottle, afraid to ever put it in the water where it might face a storm. But a ship isn't built to stay in a bottle. It's built to sail, So how do you break out of this cycle? I want to give you a few practical things that have helped me stay in motion. First, take one ridiculously small action today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. If you want to start a YouTube channel, don't script a 10-part series. Just film a 15-second clip on your phone talking about your favorite hobby. You don't even have to post it. Just do it. The goal isn't to create a masterpiece. It's to break the inertia of inaction. Make the first step so small that it feels silly not to do it. Second, reframe your mindset. Stop seeing action as the final performance and start seeing it as practice. No one expects a musician to play a flawless concerto the first time they pick up a violin. They practice. They make screechy, awful noises. They get better over time. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Give yourself permission to be bad at something. Your first attempt at anything is just data. It's not a final judgment on your worth or your potential. It's just version 1.0. There will be a version 1.1 and a 2.0, and so on. The only way to get to version 10.0 is to release the buggy, imperfect first version. And finally, I now live by a simple rule, the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, I do it immediately. This applies to small things like answering an email or washing a dish, but the principle extends to bigger goals too. What is a 2-minute version of your big goal? Want to write a book? Take 2 minutes to write 1 sentence. Want to learn to code? Take 2 minutes to watch the first part of a tutorial. This tiny commitment bypasses the part of your brain that screams about how big and scary the task is. It gets you started, and as we all know, starting is the hardest part. If any of this sounds familiar, if you're also stuck in that waiting room, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are never going to feel 100% ready. It's a myth. The people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, they didn't wait until they felt ready. They started scared. They started messy. They started before they had all the answers. The only difference between them and you is that they started. So please, start messy today. Make that call. Write that first line. Post that first video. It will be imperfect, and that's not just okay, it's necessary. Because tomorrow gets a little easier, and the day after that, easier still. You don't need more motivation or more time. You just need to take that first, tiny, terrifying step. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments what tiny step you're going to take today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more conversations like this. I'll see you in the next one.